In today's video, I'm going to go through 3 skills you absolutely need to become a successful personal trainer that you aren't being taught. The first one may not come as a surprise to a lot of you, and that's networking skills. So networking skills, you have to be able to meet new people, pitch what you do in a succinct and coherent way so people understand and get excited about talking to you and finding out more about your delivery and your services. But it's also about following up with people and making sure that you have that circulation of contacts for the bigger picture. Some people are quite good at meeting people, but they're not very good at maintaining those relationships. You need to be able to do both. The second one is sales. You need to be able to sell. There's no two ways about it. You might not like it, you might shy away from it, you might never have been good at it, and that's perfectly natural. It's also perfectly fine as long as you do something about it. So the way you need to think is that everyone is a prospective client. They're not going to become a client, but they either are going to become a client or they know somebody, or at the very least they know somebody who knows somebody who will need and want your services. You just have to find a way to get them on side to be able to refer them to you. Generally speaking, people will refer people to someone that they know, they like, and they trust. So if they don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you, you haven't got any chance of a referral. But if you can get those 3 things, or all 3 of the trifecta, you're in with a chance. The third one is probably the one that's least talked about, and that's financial acumen. When I'm talking about financial acumen, I say this to most people, their answer is I'm going to get an accountant. That's what I did for a number of years. I just relied on those services. The reality is, if you want to get really good at business, whether you're self-employed, a partnership or a limited company, you need to have your financial acumen switched on. The main things that come with that are things like the income statement, what a balance sheet is, profit and loss, budgeting or forecasting, and cash flow. If you can get those 5 things nailed down as a basic, you're in with a chance of building a successful business, because this gives you the data to be able to really analyze where your business is going well and where it's struggling. Most personal trainers get themselves into a position where their business is struggling, but they don't know how to identify where the real problem is. So therefore, they can't do anything about it. Whereas having that numerical data on whether that's Excel or another fancy app that you might use that might be a bit easier. QuickBooks is another one. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but those are the main 2. You'll be able to analyze data and predict when you're going to have peaks and troughs in your income, which will allow you to make adjustments in the way that you run your business. It will allow you to make adjustments in time off when it's going to be quieter. It will allow you to double down when it's going to be busy. It will allow you to market at certain times a bit more aggressively and other times a bit more passively. It's going to give you all of these things that you know really where your business is at, because most PTs will go by how many sessions they do, they'll discount, they'll do blocks, and by the time they get to the accounts, it's not only a year in lieu, so it's a year in the future they have to go back. They don't have any solid metrics to know how well they're doing and how they are growing year by year, other than I kind of made this much. Everything needs to be measured, and you need to find a simple way to measure it to be able to be effective, to be able to progress. Now, having said all of this, I'm completely aware that we're not taught it unless we go out and actively look for the information, or we come from a sales background, a people serving backgrounds and client facing, or someone who's a business development manager, for example, and we don't have financial acumen if we've never been exposed to it. But this is where you have to take responsibility for your own future, your own outcomes, by going and learning these things and at least getting the basics so that you can at least do basic bookkeeping, and you at least have the awareness of the 5 things from income statements through to profit and loss. This is also something that most people don't talk about because they're not even aware that it's something they have to do. And this really separates the best personal trainers or the best business people. You don't even have to be the best personal trainer. You just have to be able to have decent business acumen to be able to take you up above most people. So my advice would be, brush upon your people skills so you can meet more people, you can relate to more people, you can sell, but more importantly, brush up on your business acumen, or at the very least, surround yourself with people who can do it for you. Anyway, that's the end of today's video. I'll catch you next time.